Hey, what's up everyone? Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound, and we haven't done one of these videos in quite some time. We're going to take a look at another top list video. We're going to focus this time around on 1970s Jefferson nickels, what they're selling for right now, what the population numbers are going to be like if you elect it, you want to grade some of these. That's kind of where the big money is with these coins. But I'm here to tell you, because I've been monitoring this particular decade of coin, and they're shooting up every single year. They go up very passively, by the way. Nobody really pays attention to this. They're going up around like 5 to 10% year over year. And here we are. I think the last time I talked about this specific decade of nickels, it's probably been at least 5 years since before the pandemic. So yeah, things have kind of escalated to a whole new other world of crazy, to the point where these coins are approaching like big dollar values of what 1960s Jefferson nickels are going for. And just to kind of remind you, the strike quality is what's going to win the day with these coins. And that's going to lead to my next point, and ultimately kind of like a beware what you do from this point forward. The prices realized are quite substantial, to the point where, to some of you, it might look like easy money to try and chase. That's something that every time one of these videos pops up, where we're talking about registry set caliber graded pieces, the money is just big. It's huge. The people that buy into these are deep pockets. They're lined with gold. So please use some caution. It's not cheap to grade these coins, especially at a higher price value, higher general value and condition. If you're trying to chase a specific grade that we're going to talk about here today, and you're not 100% in tune to how grading goes, then you might fail. I'm just saying, all right? So we have actually, and you guys know me by now, right? This is no big secret. Not only do we have a top 5 list, but we also have an honorable mention that we're going to throw into the mix here too. As I do BlueRidgeSilverhound style, we always have an honorable mention. So it's really a top 6 list. So the first one that we have here is actually the 1977 Jefferson nickel. Now this is the coin that's produced at the Philadelphia Mint. And for the 1970s, the coins without any physical mint mark on there will be produced at the Philadelphia Mint. There are also, of course, Denver minted business strike coins and San Francisco. They're all going to have either a D or S if they're from those respective mint facilities. So a little bit of stats about this coin. 585,376,000 total were made, which is a pretty large number. 1970s is where we began to see heightened mintage numbers. The production was through the roof. However, quality can be a little bit of a concern for this particular decade. It's better than the 60s, but not quite the caliber of what we see in the later 80s and going into the 1990s. So you're still going to encounter issues looking for those full-stepped examples, which is what's ultimately going to earn you a large payday at the end of all this. So as far as graded stats are concerned, okay, we have a really nice PCGS example here. Unfortunately, the Mid-State 66 full steps is not the highest grade. As a matter of fact, Mid-State 67 is the highest grade. There have been 1 examples graded at a 67, none finer, and a PCGS price guide value of $4,750. So a mighty expensive coin. There has been no known documented sales of that Mid-State 67 full steps, that one lone example. I'm sure someone who is already in the registry set scene probably ended up grading that coin for themselves and added it to their prestigious registry. And we actually see a few of those here on the list today, where there's a top popping grade, but that coin had never touched the open market. This 1977 in Mid-State 67 is one such example. All right, now we're getting into the top 5 list. The official number 5, we have the 1971 Philadelphia minted Jefferson nickel. Now, just by looking at this coin, you can see some really nice, sharp, defined steps on the reverse. Now, by definition and by the standards of both NGC and PCGS, there needs to be at least 5 full steps that are uninterrupted by a nick or weakness. So you gotta have 5 lines that go all the way across in order for each of those companies to designate and denote full steps on the graded label. So I want you guys to realize that if it's marginal, or you don't know what's going on with the steps, or maybe you're just having a hard time looking at it, it's probably a coin that you don't need to grade, because it's going to easily cost you $30 to $40 for every single one of these nickels that you're going to send out. And you're not going to dare just send one coin. You're going to send multiple, because you're trying to pop that one full steps example, and hopefully it's going to be the highest graded example. So in this particular coin right here, the mintage is going to be, actually this one's quite light. This is a very low mintage coin, and as a matter of fact, it's probably the lowest on the list. 106,884,000, which I believe is the lowest mintage out of every coin on our list today, and that would explain why it even makes it on this top 5 list. Now, as far as grading is concerned, you have a phenomenal Mid-State 67 plus full steps, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is indeed the top pop grade. There are only 2 examples in a 67 plus full steps, so this one obviously made it out into the marketplace. It sold on Great Collections for, I believe, like $4,500, somewhere around there. It was a pretty big sale. And this, in spite of the fact that PCGS has a price guide value of $5,500 on it. I don't remember what the date was of that realized sale of the 67 plus, but it couldn't have been too long ago, probably within the last year or two. But this is your number 5 coin here, folks. Again, very low mintage. This one, because it's Philadelphia, does suffer from quality control issues, especially when in regard to strike quality. The number 4 coin on the list for this one is going to be the 1979 Denver. So this was our first branch mint coin on the list, the 1979 D Jefferson nickel. Now, compared to the previous few coins, this one doesn't look like it's as quality as some of those previous coins, especially the last one we looked at, the 71. Again, quality can be hit or miss on any of the 1970s nickels. Now let's go ahead and talk about mintage here on this one. 325,867,672 examples were produced. Now, even though the previous example had just over 100 million, okay, that is still a really large amount of coin. Okay, this one is 3 times that. So it's not like we're talking about coins with mintages under just 1 million. All right, the 1931S Lincoln cent kind of comes to mind. None of these compare. These were all minted into oblivion, even the 71 we talked about. Now, in terms of grade, okay, we have a really nice Mid-State 67 full steps, and as a matter of fact, this is the finest example of this coin for a 79D, in which only 1 coin was graded in a 67 full steps, with none higher. All right, so this is the big one right here. PCGS has a price guide value of this coin at $7,750, and that price went up in the last 30 days. All right, so if you went to the PCGS price guide feature on their website, you'll see a green arrow next to this date right here, which means it went up for that grade. Very tough one here, as you can tell. Only 1 in a 67 plus, or 67 full steps rather. No plus grades, nothing like that. This is as good as it gets for this coin. So, again, use caution if you think that you're going to grade a coin that you think might be better than this, because if it doesn't come back at 67, there's essentially no safety net here. If it comes back at 66, you're going to have a coin that maybe might be worth about $100, and you have wasted all this time. You might get your money back from your submission fees and your shipping, but you need to do the math before you elect to send these off to the grading companies. And then you have to pay that membership fee. Okay, it's not open to just submit coins and pay whatever the submission fee is. You have to pay what I call the gateway membership. PCGS, you're going to have to pay that $80 to $100 or whatever it is just to get the baseline grading submission tier. And then you go from there. So, there's a lot of money that you can realize from grading high-grade moderns today. But, the grading companies, they're going to be extremely strict on the grades of these coins. So you want to make sure you send your best perfection piece so that way you have the best opportunity to get the top grade. The number 3 pick here for the top 6 list is going to be the 1977D. This one looks better than the previous coin. The luster is just more even on here. But yeah, this is your number 3 coin. The 1977D was another plentiful year. 297,313,422 pieces were produced at the Denver Mint for a 77. In terms of graded examples, you are staring at the finest graded specimen here, a 67 plus full steps, pop 1, which means there's only one graded at that level, and PCGS has a price guide value of $8,000 on this monster right here. Hard to believe that anyone would pay $8,000 for this coin. Now keep in mind, these are PCGS price guide values. If any of these coins ever made it into the open market, I want you guys to believe that they're not going to sell for exactly what's printed visually or typed visually on a website or in a book. It's whatever the market deems that these are worth, okay? All it takes is 2 people to battle back and forth that are active in a nickel registry of this type, and these things can go sky high. And sometimes they might even underperform as well. So, $8,000 for this thing. Again, there's probably hundreds of other coins that I would drop $8,000 on. Gold, for example, you could buy 3 really nice graded double eagles for the price of this one right here. But also consider that you could sell this coin and buy those gold eagles afterwards. The number 2 coin, I mean, we're talking about some monsters coming up here. These last 2 are just huge. 1978, yeah, would you believe this is the number 2 coin on the list? I don't. It's even my birth year, so I'm feeling kind of flattered that this one is number 2 on the list. But yeah, this is another high mintage piece at 391,308,000. So again, there's no shortage of a 1978 Philadelphia Jefferson nickel. There's the only coin that I could find, not even touching the highest grade at all. Mid-State 67 full steps is the top grade of this coin. It's a pop 2 at that grade, which means there's only 2 that were graded at that level. And PCGS has a price guide value of $9,500 with a green up arrow, which means that price guide value had gone up within the last 30 days. So again, we're seeing price movements here. These things continue to go up, which means scarcity. All right, there's a demand for these in the marketplace. And when there's none out there for these registry set participants to hold on to, then the prices will continue to go up. All right, and it's not like that people aren't submitting a lot of these. I think people are scared of spending and coughing up hundreds of dollars for PCGS submission fees to get to that level. And then the number 1 coin, yeah, we call it the top dog for 1970s nickels. Well, no surprise here. It's going to be the first year of the 70s nickels, 1970, but it's the Denver minted coin that's showing up everyone else. And this is the one that suffers greatly from strike quality. As a matter of fact, I tried looking around for a top graded coin and none have sold. This is a rarity right here. Now, in terms of mintage, this is, if you would believe it, the highest minted piece out of all 6 coins we talked about here in this video. 515,485,380 pieces were produced of the 70 Denver Jefferson nickel. All right, but you wouldn't know it by looking at this coin right here, because this is the only one that I could find with full steps. This is a true rarity right here, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, when it comes to grades, Mid-State 66 full steps is the top grade for a 1970D Jefferson nickel. It's a pop 1, which means it's the only one. And it's pretty easy to see because the quality was crap in 1970. And get this, PCGS has only graded 4, count them, 4 total examples in full steps, one of which was that finer graded 66 full steps. PCGS has a price guide value, and I have a feeling that this is going to change here soon, of $10,000, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're able to grade one of these at a 66 full steps, good luck with that, by the way. I've tried cherry picking this coin for years. They're just not that easy. Again, quality suffered mightily in 1970. You could say the same about 68 and 69, which is why those coins are worth $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 at the finest grade level. So again, that is a monster right there. But that's going to go ahead and do it. Believe it or not, that was 6 coins, 6 up, 6 down. And that was a lot of fun to chat about. Again, beware of grading. It's highly subjective. And again, you're really trusting that the people at PCGS are going to see eye to eye with your grading. It's just not going to happen. It's really tough. And sometimes it's going to take sending off dozens of these coins to make some sort of impact. But that's going to go ahead and do it for this one. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Again, it was a pleasure talking with you today about the top 5 or 6 1970s Jefferson nickels. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell for instant notification. And also check me out on TikTok at Blue Ridge Silverhound. I'll see you guys later. Happy hunting and enjoy the hobby.